Hey everybody, this is Paul from Alpha again, and we're going to again talk about insurance made simple. One of the questions that comes up is why is insurance so expensive and why does it go up every year? Now that's a big question, has a myriad of answers, but I just recently did a continuing education class about insurance fraud, and I was very surprised on what I found out. I've been in the business 6+ years now, and still learning a lot of stuff I don't know, and I'm just constantly trying to learn and grow and be better at what I do to provide excellent service to my customers. But one thing I found out in this fraud class is that approximately $250 a year is what you pay and what I pay for fraud on every single policy that I own. The scope of fraud is so big, it's almost mind-numbing. In 2019, now this doesn't even count last year, fraud accounts for $80 billion across all lines of insurance. That's an awful lot of money, people. About 40%, about half of that is simply auto or property and casualty, and about 30 billion of that is for auto insurance. Obviously, there's other lines, but you can imagine that almost $70 billion is for your home, for your car. That's what makes our rates go up. Not just your rates, not just your neighbor's rates, but yours, mine, everybody's rates go up because of fraud. So the other thing that drives that up is what the insurance company has to pay to combat fraud. So in 2018, insurance companies spent a collective $650 million to try to stay on top of and get ahead of all of this fraud. In 2019, they spent $2.5 billion. And as the fraud continues to increase, the work to try to prevent that fraud has to increase as well. So again, it adds back to us. So if you want to kind of do your part and be able to help out, because I want to keep my rates as low as possible. Here are a couple of things that you can do, that I can do, to make sure that we combat fraud. Number one is we need to be complete on the information that we give agents when we're either doing an application or filing a claim. This isn't the time to be hiding information or not being completely truthful. You know, it is what it is and what happened. Several of the things that that go into all that, at least in the auto side, is number one is unrecognized drivers. People that are in your household that you haven't told the insurance company about. If they live there, they need to be listed and they need to be covered. And that's with every carrier out there. You want to make sure that you give them all the information so that they can make an educated decision and give a correct rate. Because it doesn't do any good to give them incomplete information or incorrect information, and then they're going to find out later, and then it goes up. And now you've got to go somewhere else, or you've got to pay a higher rate. Number two is you've got to be accurate with the information that you're giving. Where's the car located? Who all is driving it? And what kind of mileage are you putting on the car? All of those go into that rate. And again, there's people out there that think, oh, I'm just going to drive, 5,000-6,000 miles a year, but they're really driving 12,000-15,000 miles a year. Well, yeah, they've succeeded in saving a few bucks, but then because their exposure is twice as much, and now they're in an accident and the company finds out, the company can do one of a couple of things. They could deny the claim for false information. They could pay the claim and go up on the rate just because now there's a claim. They could non-renew because now they've found out information that was inaccurate. The last thing is to report fraudulent activity. Don't do it yourself. Don't get pulled into that to try to save a few dollars, but also report it. Let people know when people are doing things, illegally. Nobody likes to be a narc. Nobody likes to tell on other people. But now that you know that $250 a year for every policy you have is what's coming out of your pocket to pay for the other person's fraudulent activity, now I'm more aware of it to where I'm going to be paying attention to it even more. So I would challenge you to do the same. Make sure that when you do have claims that you document. Whether it be if you've had a theft at the house or you've had a fire at the house and now you've got to make a list out of everything. One of the tips that I give my customers is today, go out and take pictures of all of your possessions in the house. That way, when and if that claim happens, you can make a list to where you can get full benefit, get everything that's due you. Because if you have a claim and at your house and you've got $150,000 of content insurance and that house burns to the ground, they're not going to write you a check out for $150,000. You're going to have to make a list of everything that's in the house and submit it. Well, if you've forgotten the drapes and the window treatments and you've forgotten the pictures that are hanging on the wall and you say I got X amount in clothing or I've got these tools that are in the basement, well, then it's lost, it's lost claims. So that's not being fraudulent, that's being accurate. So take a picture of everything in your room. Don't forget your closets. Don't forget your garage and your basement. And you don't have to straighten it up and pull everything out individually. But if you've got that, post hole digger that you haven't used in the last 5 to 10 years, it's still yours. If it's been lost due to a fire or a tornado, you need to claim it. So be accurate. So guys, I just wanted to kind of share this with you because it's some information that I just learned. How to save that $250 a year is we all work together to be complete and be accurate and report fraud. Guys, as always, appreciate your time. I hope this helps. This is Paul Perry with Alpha Insurance in Moody. My number is 205-919-7903, or you can reach me at my office at 205-699-5117. Thanks, everybody, and have a great day.